Hello coders, hope all of you are doing great. So in today's project, we're going to build this to-do list app from scratch. And this will give you a very good understanding of create element in JavaScript. You will also learn that how you can design this UI and how you can be good in JavaScript. So working in a project like this will always very helpful if you want to be better at any language. So that's all we're going to find out right in this video. So make sure you watch it till the end to learn everything about the UI part, JavaScript part, and how you can come up with a better design concept. So we are going to cover a tons of things. So if you're new to our channel, hit like and subscribe. That will motivate me a lot to come up with this video. So let me show you that what are the things we're going to build in today's project in this to-do list app. So this is the application which we're going to build. So if I want to add anything into my to-do list, this is how I can do it. In this input tag, I'm going to just add my lists. I will say mango, and I have typed my text, and I will click on this plus icon, and here I have my list. If I want to add anything, I can tap and I can click on this plus icon. I have another list. If I want to add one more, I have another list. So you can keep going on. And what if you want to remove any one of this list from this to-do list app? So you can do that as well. So I have included that functionality as well. So the moment I click one time, I will have this line. But when I click two times, it will get disappear. One time I will have this, two times it will get out of this to-do list. So this is the functionality which I'm going to include. So I have divided this video in three parts. First, we're going to write the HTML which is required for this project. Then we'll move to the UI part. And third, we're going to write the JavaScript to bring all this functionality. So if you are interested to watch any specific part of this tutorial, you can simply jump to that. But I would recommend you to watch this video till then. And that will give you a very good understanding that how I'm building this project, what are the stages I'm dividing my project. You will get the concept and it will help you to enhance your web development journey, and you can be a better design. So with that said, now let me take you to my Visual Code Studio and let's start coding this application from scratch. Here you are in my Visual Code Studio, and as you can see that I have already written few codes in my HTML document. So I have generated this boilerplate and I have defined some global variables in my style tag. So as you can see in this UI, I'm using a particular color for this back shadow, background color and icon color. So those are the globals variable I have defined for the colors. So you can easily get this code on my website. Simply type $send JavaScript project, or you can visit my website. There is in JavaScript project section, you will find all these projects and you can download it from there. And I have taken this script tag in the same HTML document. I'm not going to link any external CSS. So this is a small project. That's why I'm writing all my CSS, all my JavaScript in the same HTML document. So before I start coding this project, so let me tell you that what are the things you have to do. So whenever you build any project, what would be your thought process? Because that one is very important. How are you going to approach this project? So what I'm going to do first, I will go through this UI part. So as I can see in this UI, I have a one div. Inside this, I have another div. In that div, I have two sections. So this is going to be my one component, and this is going to be another component, and here is another component where I'm going to add my. So this is how I'm going to approach, because this one is very convenient and you have a track that where you are writing code for which part of this UI. And in that way, you can able to have a reference. So when you want to do any changes. So the very first thing I want to do, I want to create a container. And let me do it quickly. So I will give a name to this container app. And inside this container, I will have this icon and to-do list. But I'm going to put this icon and to-do list inside another container. So I'll call it .app. Inside this, I'm going to have an icon. So I'm using this website for my icon. So I'll simply open the website and I'll come here, and this is the website I'm using for the icon. So it's absolutely free. If you want to use the thin one, they will give you for free. But if you want to go with solid thin line, these are the paid ones. So I would tell you that go with the free ones. Why I'm clicking on this link. Let me come here and let me go to this pro sections. Let me grab that icon. So I think this icon would be great for this project, and this is what we have used in the demo one. So I've simply grabbed the icon and I will come here and I will simply paste my icon inside this. Let's come back to the project. Let me make it side by side. And let me open this in the live server so you can see that what are the things we're going to work. So as you can see that we got our icon here. So let me zoom a bit so you can have a good look of the code. So before I start writing this code, let me do one thing. Let me quickly apply some styling to my background, to the body tag. So I'll come here and here I'm going to write some universal settings. The very first thing I want to do, I want to remove the padding and margin from my browser. As you can see, I have a extra padding and margin at the top corner. So I want to remove that as well. So I'll remove the padding and margin. Same as you will do. Box shadow is going to be, box sizing is going to be border box. Now what I want to do, I'll come here, I'll target the body tag. And by the way, this body tag is this. I'm targeting the entire body tag. So what I will do, I will apply the background color. So I'll say background, and this is the color I want to use. I will take my variables, and this is the main color I'm going to use it. and I'll save it. As you can see, the background color is changed. I want to make everything in center lines. So for that, how I can do it, I'll provide top is going to be, let's say, 50%, and left is going to be 50%, and translate is going to be minus 50% from the x-axis and minus 50% from the y-axis, so that will bring everything in centers. So let's provide I think positions to be absolute, so let's give a positions to be not relative. I want to give absolute. So we are done with the body setting. As you can see, my icon is in the middle. So what I can do, so I will come into my app info and I will take a h1 tag where I'm going to display the text. So what I'm displaying in the demo one to-do list, let me copy this one and let me paste inside this as it is. So I got it. Let's come back to my original document. Let's save it. This is my to-do list, and inside this, like, I will come out of this container because this is the one sections, and now I'll come out of this sections and I'll take another div with the name, let's say, inputfield, input field, and inside this I'm going to have a, let's say, an icon, or I will have my input tag. So let me grab my input tag first, input tag, and the tag is going to be text, and I want to take a placeholder is going to be, let's say, type your list, and I will give this, and I will also assign an ID so I can target with the help of JavaScript. So I'll say ID, let me quickly come with this and let me make it wrap toggle, and the ID I want to assign is input, and this is the ID I want to give. So that's for the input tag. Now I can do one thing. Now let me quickly grab the icon and my input tag. So this is the input field container, and inside this, and I'll come out of this container and I will take another div with the add list, and inside this I'm going to add my to-do list. So this is going to be empty for a while because we're going to add it with the help of JavaScript. Let me do one thing and let me wrap both this container into a main container. So I can say iner container, and inside this I'm going to wrap these two containers. Let me cut it here and let me come down, let me paste it and let me save it. So we are done with the HTML part. Now let's move to the styling. So the very first thing I want to do, so I'm going to assign a height and width to my this app container. So I'll target the app, and this is how I will do it. I will say width is going to be, let's say, 300 pixels, and height is going to be, let's say, 500 pixels, and background color is going to be, let's say, var main color, and I will assign a box shadow. So box shadow is going to be this one, this color, which I have already taken into my global career. So as you can see, this is how it's looking. It's getting quite good shapes. I'll assign a padding. So I'll assign padding to 1 gram. Let's see how it's look. So it's look quite good. I can increase it. Let me do it. I'll do it later. Now what I will do, I will assign a border radius to the section. So border radius is going to be, let's say, 2 gram. Here I'm using RAM. You can use EM, you can use pixels, but RAM is very good when it's come to making a responsive layout. So this is how our to-do list app is looking right this moment. So we are done with this container part. It's looking quite similar to the original one. So here what I will do now, let me see, let me check what I have to do. So I have designed the app. Now I have to target this app info. So I'll come here, I'll say info. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to set the display property is going to be flex, because I want my both icon and to-do list to be in the center. Justify content is going to be, let's say, and align item is going to be center, so everything will be in the same line. And I want to assign some margin to this container from the bottom. So I'll say margin from bottom is going to be, let's say, 2 gram. So this is how it will look. We'll fix that later if we find that it's too much. So with that, we are done with that, and I can do one thing. I can increase the padding a bit, so I can say 2 ram. In the app section, you can do it in the app info as well. So I'm doing in my main container. Now let's target the icons, because I want to specify some styling to the icon. I want to increase the size, and I want to assign a background color, and I want to provide some margin from the right hand side. How I can do it, I'll come back here. So now I will target the icon. I want to increase the font size, and I want to provide some spacing from the right hand side. So I can do it in this way. I'll tag app info and in this way I want to increase the font size is going to be, let's say, 25 pixels. Let's see how it's look. We'll fix that later. And I want to assign a background color to be, let's say, var, and this is the icon color I want to assign. And I want to assign a padding to be 1 ram from all the sides. This looks quite good. I can do one thing. I can say border radius is going to be where is it? border. Border radius is going to be 50%. Let me save it. Not 50, I can say 30 pixels. Yeah, this looks good. And I can increase the font size a bit, so let's make it to 50. Let's make it 45. This looks good. And I can decrease the padding from here. I can say 0.5. and let me assign a color to my icon. Is going to be white, so I'm using this one, hexagon code. This is how it's looking. I don't want to have this color, I want to have my main color. So I'll say where, and where is my main color? This is the color. So let's do that. And I want to assign a margin from the right hand side. So margin is going to be, let's say I say 1 rem. Yeah, this looks good. So we are done with the icon now, and if you think that it's too big, you can fix from your end and do the changes in the padding and margin or the icon size, but I want to show you the process. So now we are done with the icon. Now let's come to the h1 tag, and as you can see that we have only one h1 tag, so I don't need to target by this app application. I can define this setting globally. So how I can do that? I can say h1, and I want to assign the color is going to be my icon color, and I want to use the font family to be Georgian Times Roman. So this is my favorite one. So this is, I'm applying on it, and I think the sizes looks good. I don't need to change anything in the size. So this is how it's looking. Now let's come to the container input field. So as you can see that here I have taken a div to do list container. So let's do some setting there. So I'm going to target my container. So how I can do that? This is how I can do it. So I'll say do list .container container, and here I have target my container. Now I want to provide a width. So width is going to be, let's say 100% to my container, and the height I want to assign is to be, let's say 100%. And to see everything's working fine, let me give a background color so I can have it. So let's give a background color to this. So how it's looking. I think I made some mistakes in the name, so let me copy this name very quickly from here. I'll copy it and I'll come here and I can paste it. So there was a spelling mistake. So as you can see, I'm getting, it's too big. So from here I can do the adjustment in the height. So I can say, let's say 60%, it's too small, so I can increase it to 80. Yeah, this looks perfect. And I don't want to assign anything in the background, so that's look perfect, and I think so it's good. So that's the height and width, and let's do one more thing. So here now I'm going to target this input field, and I'm going to add a background color to that. So I'll do it in this way, to do list, and I'll say dot input input field field. This is how I will target the class. And now what I want to do, I want to assign a background color. So I'll say var, and the main color I want to use is this one. I'll save it. It will have a background color. Now what I want to do is I want to provide a box shadow. So I'll say box shadow, box shadow. So this is the box shadow I want to use. So this is how it will look. This is going to be around, let's say 90%. So this is how it's looking. I want to increase the height of this, so I'll say 50 pixels would be great. It's too big, so let me make it 40. Yeah, this looks good. Outline is going to be none. Outline is going to be none. I don't want to have border as well, so this is how it will look. Let's provide a little bit border radius. So I'll say border radius is going to be, let's say 1 rem. It will have a nice circle, and the background color I want to assign is, background color is going to be var and the main color, so it will have a similarity. Now what I will do, I'm going to target this inner text. So I'll do it very easily. So I'll come here and I'll say it's in the input field. So I'll say input field, target the input tag, and now I'm going to target the inner text with the help of type. So the type I have provided is text, and I think this is okay. So what I want to do, I want to provide some spacing from the left hand side. So I'll say margin from, it's left, okay, this side. So I'll say it's going to be 1 rem. Let's see. Okay, it's quite too much. So what I can do here, let's come to this input field, and instead of 90 I can provide 80%. I want to give this main container a border radius. So instead of giving to input tag, I can cut this from here and I can give it to my main container. I'll paste it, I will have a container like this. So we are done with this. If you want to change the text or font size, you can do it. Simply provide the property here, but I'm going in this way. This looks quite good, and I want to increase icon size a bit. So same thing I will do. I'll come here and I'll say dot input field icon. icon, and I want to say font size is going to be, let's say, 20 pixels. Looks quite good. Yeah, it's look quite good. Let's come to the container, and here I want to do something. I want to make it display is going to be flex, and justify contain would be center, not center, space between, a space between, and align item is going to be center, so everything would be in the middle. And I can do one thing. I can come down here and I want to provide a margin from the right hand side. So this is how it's looking. I think this is perfect. It's looking quite similar to this UI part, so I think it's beautiful. So now what I want to do, now we're going to work on the JavaScript. So whenever we type any text and click, as you can see, whenever we are typing and clicking, we're having this. What I will do, I will create a div inside the add list, and I'm going to apply some styling, and then I will remove that, and I'm going to apply that same styling when I will create the element with the help of create element in JavaScript. So let's come here, and let me first give a div, div. You can give whatever name you want. I'm giving this. So I'll simply copy this and come back here. I'll paste the div simply, and what I will say, I want to assign a width. So width is going to be, let's say, width is going to be 100%, and height is going to be, let's say, height is going to be 40 pixels, and background color is going to be this one, this light color. This light color, I think, icon color, this light color, main BG, dark shadow, this color I think would be great. This looks perfect. And what I want to do, I want to give some margin to this container from top. So I'll say margin is going to be, top is going to be, let's say, 0.5 RAM. It's too, okay, sorry, 10 RAM I said, 0.5 RAM. I can give what, a little higher RAM. So I can say 1 RAM. Yeah, this looks perfect. And I want to provide a border radius as well. So BOR, border radius is going to be, let's say, 1 RAM. So now we are getting a very nice shape. So this class I'm going to add with the help of JavaScript. So what I will do now, I will simply come here and I'm going to remove this div which I have created. And right now we have nothing. So we're done with the HTML and CSS part. So now let's start writing the JavaScript. So what I will do, I'm going to target this input tag, this plus icon, and add list into my JavaScript. So I'll say const, first I'm targeting the add list. So add list. So as you can see that I have given a class, so I can say, and I'll target my add button. So I'll say add btn document dot query selector. I'll take this bracket and set comma, and I'll type input input field field, and I have assigned an ID to this, I guess, yes, input. So I'll say document dot get element by ID, and the ID I have assigned is input, input input. So now I have targeted all the three variables in my JavaScript. Now the very first thing I want to do is I want to add an add event listener to this plus icon. So the moment I'll click, I want to add a div, and inside that I have to add a text, and I have to do a lot of things. So what I will do, I'll say what the class I have given to this button is add btn. So this is the btn class I have added. I'm going to add an add event listener on this. I want to listen click. So the moment someone click on that, I want to listen that event. So I'll say click, and I'm going to run an arrow function on this. So I'll say, and let me do console log very quickly so I can check everything is working fine. So I'll say click click me, and let me save it. Let's come here in the browser, go to my console, and go to this console, and let me clear everything from here. Okay, this is the mistake I have made, so I have to do this, and now I can click and I can have that click me. So as you can see, I'm getting this click me. So there was a small mistake, I forgot to give this arrow. So what I want to do, the moment someone click on this plus icon, I want to create an element, or you can call it div. So I'll say const, and I'll say create element element. So I'm defining a variable inside inside this function. So I will use document dot create element. It's a JavaScript inbuilt property which you can use to create element with the help of JavaScript. So inside this, what I want to create, you can create paragraph tag, you can create div. Both these tags are a block element. So I'll say that I'll create a div, and div I have created. Now what I want to do, as you remember that I have created a class here, this create div class. So now when someone will click and this div element gets created, I want to apply this styling. So I'll simply copy this one and I'll come here and I'll say create element add classless dot add what I want to add. I'll give this, and I want to add this classless. So whenever someone click and this div will generate it, automatically this class will add it in that. So now I want to take the value. When someone enter anything into this input box, I want to take that value and add into my this div. So how I can do that? I can say create element dot inner text, or you can call it inner HTML, both are the same. And I want to target my input tag. As you can see, this is the input field. I have given the name. I'll say input fill dot value value. So now whatever I value will get from here, that will automatically assign to my create element. So once I get the value, what I want to do that after. So here we have done two things. First thing, that on click I have created this div, I have added the class list, and I have taken the value of input tags, but I want to display. And how I can do it? So there is a property in JavaScript, it's called append child. So that's we use to add a div inside any element. So this is how I can do it. So first thing I want to do is where I want to display my tag. So as you remember that here I have added a add list container. So inside this I'm going to add this div. I show you that at the beginning that we have a box. Inside that I'm going to do it. So I'll say in this way, I'll say add list dot append child, and inside this what I want to append, this create element which we have created. So inside this I'll say create elements and I'll save it. So now let's come here and let's check that whether it's working or not. So suppose I'm typing daulat Hussain.com. So the moment I'll click on this plus button, it will add it here down. So I'll click here, and as you can see, we got it. If I click one more time, I'm getting it. If I click one more time, I'm getting it. So as you can see, it looks quite awkward. The text is up, so we can fix that very easily. We can simply come here into our created div, and here what I can do, I want to provide a margin. Let's say display is going to be flex, and justify content is going to be, let's say, start, and align item is going to be center. So everything would be in the middle. Now let's give a try one more time. I'll type this and click. As you can see, now everything is in center, but I want to provide some spacing from the left hand side, so I can do it very easily. So I'll come here, margin, I'll type margin left, okay, this side. So I'll say margin is going to be 0.5 rem. I'll save it. Let's come back here once again. I'll type it, and nothing's happened. Why? Oh, sorry, not margin. I have to provide padding. Okay. So I'll say padding is going to be provide padding. So padding is going to be, let's say, 0.5 rem. I'll save it. Come here, and I'll add something. And as you can see, I'm getting padding here. I can increase this number to 1 if you think that you need to increase it. So I'll come here, I'll tap it here, and now I'm getting this beautiful padding. So no matter how many times you can click, it will keep add on. Again, I will keep add on, but now you can see it's overflowing. So how I can fix that? You can do one thing. You can wrap this entire container into one container. So how you can fix that? It's very easy. Let's come into the app container up here, and here what I will do, I'll set overflow is going to be hidden. So let's come here, let's do the testing once again and click. As you can see, nothing's happening. Why? Okay, sorry, I have assigned in the info. I want to do in the main container. So I'll come here. Inside the main container, I'll save it, keep clicking. As you can see, we're getting it. So you can fix it very easily. You can decrease the margin from the bottom, and it will stop overflowing. So now let's come to the next part of this tutorials. What I want to do, as you can see, the moment I'm typing anything and I'm clicking, this value still remains there. I don't want that. I want to make it empty. So I'll come here and inside this, and here what I will say, I'll target the input field dot value, and I'll make it none, like blank. So now you will have not like this. As you can see, nothing we're having. If I click, nothing is there. Now I want to add two functionality. So as you can see in the demo one, if I coming here, and if I'm clicking one time, I'm getting this line. So if I double clicking, it's getting removed. So these are the two things we have to include in this project. So I'll come here. Now what I can do, I'm going to add an add event listener on this element which we are creating. So we are creating this create element. So on that I'm going to add an event listener. So I'll say create element dot add event listener. What I want to add, click, and I'll say click, click, and I want to run an arrow function. You can not run a normal function, but here I like to use this arrow function. It's really look good and it's very amazing. So what I want to do, I want to change the styling. On the first click, when someone clicked for the very first time, I want to make it line. So I can do that very easily. I'll say style, text, decoration, and I want to add line, THROUGH, through. So now you will see, if I come here and I can type something here and I can click, I'm getting this. The moment I will click for the very first time, I will have, let's give a cursor to this container. So I'll say cursor is going to be pointer, and I'll typing adding, and the moment I will click, I will have a line. As you can see, it's like working fine. Now I want to add one more add event listener, which is called double click, and on the double click I want to remove this. I want to remove this div from its parent. So I can do it that very easily. I'll come here and I can simply add an add event listener on my create element. Let me make it up. And what I want to add an event listener, and this time I'm looking for a double click. So DBL, so this is the form of double click. So CLICK, click, and I can call the callback function. You can call it arrow function. So this time I want to remove this div from its parent child. So how I can do it? I can do it very easily. I can say add list dot remove child, and inside this I'm going to give the name of this child. So create element, I'll save it, and now let's come to the browser and check everything's working fine. So I'll come here, I will type visit daulat.hussain.com. You can type whatever you want, and by the way, if you want to get this source code, it's everything available on my website in the JavaScript project sections, and there is a lot of projects. You can have a look from your end, but it's better to code along with me. That would give you a better understanding. So the moment I will click on this plus icon, I'm having here, and it's working fine. Let's add one more, SUBSCRIB, subscribe my CHANN Neil channel. If I'm making any spelling mistake, forgive me. So now what I want to do, the moment I will click first time, it will have a one line. The moment I click twice, it will remove from the skin. Same thing, if I add it, it will have a through line. If I click double, it will remove. So this is how you can build your own to-do list app. You can easily convert this into a mobile application. As you can see, you can make it responsive. So I hope you have learned something new, that how you can design this simple project, and this will give you a very good understanding of JavaScript and UI part designing. I try my best to explain all the codes which I have written for this project, and I hope you have liked it. If you have any questions, any doubt, leave in the comment sections. And I have already made a tutorial, complete tutorial on a JavaScript project where I have built removing particles, color particles from scratch. I have not used any JavaScript library in that. There you will find tons of learning. I have used ECMA 6 in that project, which I'm going to link in the I button or in the description, so you can check from your end. And that if you build that project and code along with me, you will learn a lot of things. So I hope you have found this tutorial valuable. If you have any question or any suggestion for me, or if you want me to work on any particular project, do leave in the comment section. I would love to help you in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.